welcome back to my channel. Today we have a contour palette showdown between the Kat Von D Shade and Light and the Anastasia of Beverly Hills contour palette. I'm really excited because I haven't played with either of these contour palettes yet. I was waiting till I filmed this video so that I could have a first impression on each palette on camera, so I resisted the urge to play around with the displays in the store, which was really hard for me, but I did it. So in this video, I'm going to show you swatches of each palette. I'm going to let you know my thoughts on each one. I'm also going to be applying it one palette on each side of my face so that we can see how it applies. And then I'm going to choose the winner and see which palette is a better palette. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I have here the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette as well as the Anastasia of Beverly Hills contour kit. So I think I'm going to try the Kat Von D first. This is the box, and then on the back of them it has all of the shades that are included in the kit. And let's take this out. This is pretty cool. It has a card here. So it has 3 faces, and it says define cheekbones, slim face, and shape nose. And there's some tips on here. And then on the back it has her brush that she sells, and it says shade and light. So one side of the brush is angled, which she says is good for the contouring, and then the pointed side, which is the light side, is good for highlighting. She does sell the brush separately if that is something you are interested in purchasing when you purchase the contour kit. And yeah, I think that's kind of cool that she includes this in there for people that are just starting out with highlighting and contouring and may not know how to go about it. So that comes in the box. And then we have here the kit. So the first thing I notice here is that she has a mirror up top, which is great for travel. And then we have the shades here. Looks like we have Lucid, Lyric, Levitation, Sombre, Shadow Play, and Subconscious. And the Lucid is more on the pink side. Lyric is more of a yellow tone, which is good for highlighting underneath your eye after you apply concealer. We have the peach tone here, Levitation. We have Sombre, which is more of a cool tone. Shadow Play is definitely a warmer brown that's good for just warming up the skin tone, kind of brushing it onto your cheekbones, bringing it around your hairline, and just warming up the face. I think this would act sort of like a bronzer would. Then we have Subconscious, which is very dark. This would be great for medium to dark skin tones. Or someone that just wants a really strong contour. I am definitely going to play with this because when I do contouring now, I use just a deep bronzer. I haven't used too many contour palettes, so I definitely wanted something more cool toned and darker, which is why I purchased the palette. So definitely going to be playing around with that one. First off, I noticed that they are very smooth. It's very finely milled, which I definitely like, especially since you're going to be using these top 3 for highlighting. You want it to be something that you can apply underneath your eye to brighten, and if you have concealer on and you're setting that with this, you definitely want everything to be smooth underneath your eye. So I definitely love the consistency of this one. I am going to apply that right here, and as you can tell, that has a pinky sort of tone. I really like that. Then we have the center one, which was the yellow tone. This one is Lyric, and that has a yellow base to it. And that one is this one right here. And then we have the third one, which is Levitation. That's the pink one. And that one is down here. I don't know if you can see the colors very well, but I am going to zoom in even closer so that you can see them. So right here I've applied Sombre, which is more of the cool toned gray color. Underneath that I'm doing Shadow Play, which is the warmer brown. And then the last one we have Subconscious, which is the dark brown. So again, here up top we have Lucid. This is Lyric, Levitation, Sombre, Shadow Play, and Subconscious. So these are the 3 contour colors, and these are the 3 highlight colors. Alright, let's get into the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit. And this one does not come in a box like the Kat Von D, but it does come in a nice little sliding pouch here. I'm one who is, I don't want to say like OCD, but a tad bit OCD with organizing and just keeping everything clean. So I tend to keep everything in their original packaging. So boxing and packaging is kind of important to me since I do hold on to it. This one may be a pain because it can fall out from either side, but for most people that won't matter. So let's go ahead and open it. It has this little plastic here to keep the shadows clean and safe, and this one comes in little circular pods instead of the size of these ones. So it looks like you get a little bit less product, but let's see. So they do have all of the shades listed here on the box, and I'm going to go ahead and show you what they are. Okay, so on the top here we have Sand, which I think it has a little bit of a sheen to it, which is what I heard from reviews, and that's great for highlighting on the cheekbones, but we'll take a look at that. Then we have Banana, which is the yellow shade, which would be, I guess, comparable to the Lyric in the Kat Von D. And then we have Vanilla, which is the one on the end. I just want to make sure. Yep, Vanilla. And this one is more of a peachy tone. Then here we have Havana on the end. We have Fawn, and we have Java, which is this one. And so we have Havana, Fawn, and Java. And Havana is more of a warm, deeper shade. We have this one, which is more of a cool tone. And then the last one over here, which is also a warm shade, but not as dark as this one. So let's get into these swatches here. So this one is Sand, and it definitely has more of a sheen to it. It doesn't have sparkle or anything, but it's definitely has a shine to it, which is nice. Then we have the center one, which is the Banana. And I want to say that I feel like these powders are not as smooth as the Kat Von D ones. Kat Von D was definitely a little bit, I don't want to say creamy, but just like buttery and smooth. We have the third one here, which is Vanilla. And that's more of the pink one. And this one definitely swatches a lot easier than the Banana one. I only needed to rub my finger in it once or twice, and I feel like I got a decent amount. Then we're going to go over to the contour, and this is Havana. Then we have Fawn, which is the cool one here. And then we have the last one here is Java. So again, I'm going to zoom in so you can take a look at those. So here we have Sand, Banana, and Vanilla. And here at the bottom we have Havana, Fawn, and Java. Okay, so just to recap, I have both hands here with these swatches. And this is the Kat Von D, and this is the Anastasia. So from what you can see, the Anastasia definitely has more warm colors. The top one and the bottom one are definitely warmer, with one cool shade in the center. And then you have the highlight here that has a little bit of that sheen, which would be good for highlighting the top of your cheekbones. If you're looking for a palette that is all matte shades and does not have that sheen shade, then you would definitely prefer the Kat Von D. And as you can see here, this has the cooler shades here for contouring, whereas this one is definitely warmer. I'm like, this is the worst angle trying to show you, like with my wrist twisted. Definitely have to perfect my hand swatching. So yeah, this one is definitely warmer and this one is cooler. And I feel like the Anastasia one looks a little bit chalkier, where the Kat Von D looks a little bit more smooth and buttery. So prior to filming, I applied foundation, concealer, I did my eye makeup, and I have a little bit of a matte shade on my lip, but I did not contour or add blush or highlighter or any of that. So my face is a blank canvas, so we can go ahead and play with the products now. I have two sets of brushes here so that I'm not dipping the same brush or actually seeing the true colors. So for contouring, I am going to use this contouring brush by Morphe. I don't have the number on me, but I will link it down below. And then for highlighting, I'm going to use a Morphe brush, which is the M438. And as you can see, that has a pointed tip, and then the contouring brush is more of a dome, which fits perfectly in the contour area. So I have two of each brush, and then I'm going to go ahead and apply the highlighter and blush and all of that. So let's get into it. Let's see, I think I'm going to go ahead and highlight underneath my eye first. So on this side, we are going to do the Anastasia, and then on this side, we're going to do Kat Von D. So first, I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Banana Powder, and I'm going to take my pointed Morphe M38 brush, and just going to dip that in and apply that right underneath the eye in a V motion. I'm also going to extend it up here a little bit. And I do notice that they did highlight my eye area pretty nicely. I am now going to go in with Kat Von D, Lyric. And one thing I do notice with that is that since it is so buttery, it does have a bit more fallout, so you will get some sort of eyeshadow on the borders of the palette when you dip it, but I mean, that's to be expected. It's not really a big deal, but that is something to keep in mind. Now I'm going to apply this one underneath, and I can already see that that one is definitely a lot more highlighted. I feel like definitely got a lot more pigment from that. It's really nice. I'm now going to go ahead and warm up my skin with the warmer shade in each palette. Thinking I'm going to do Havana, which is in the Anastasia one, and then I'm going to do Shadow Play, which is in the Kat Von D, which is the center one here. Let's dip this brush. I'm using just the Morphe 435, and I'm dipping that in Havana. I'm going to bring that around my hairline. Just warm up the face a bit. I think I'm going to throw my hair back because it's in the way here. As you can see, there's nothing here. And then this is Havana, which gives a nice kind of bronzy glow to the skin. I just think that's really pretty. I'm going to go in with Shadow Play from Kat Von D. Ooh, I gotta dust this one off. This one, you barely need to touch it and you pick up a ton of product. I feel like that one's just super pigmented already. Around my hairline and jaw. This one's really nice. So the Kat Von D definitely goes on a lot smoother. I feel like it's definitely not for the natural makeup wearer. I definitely feel like it's a lot more intense, where the Anastasia one, the lines kind of blurred out and it looks a little bit more natural. So if you're someone that's wanting something more on the natural side, I feel like the Anastasia one is definitely giving me that look. And then taking the center shade from the Anastasia palette here, which is a little bit more on the cooler side, which is pretty much the only cool shade they have in their palette. So I'll be grabbing that one. And I'm going to work it right into my cheekbone right here and just kind of chisel that out a little bit more. And when you do this, you don't really want to bring it in any further than the outer corner of your eye. When you start bringing it down, it just makes your face look very droopy, and you want everything lifted. You don't want this line to start attaching to this area. So you definitely want to stop right about here. So from here up, you always want to start from the outside and bring it in. I'm just going to add a little bit more. And we're right here on the top of the ear, and we're just bringing it down. And that's just going to chisel it out a little bit more. Although I feel like with the Kat Von D side, I didn't add that second shade and it's already strong. So I kind of like that. Now I'm going to go in with the Kat Von D side. And I'm going to go in with Subconscious. I'm going to go in with this shade right here, which is a cooler tone. We're going to apply that in the same area as we did the other side of the face. So I feel like they both give a similar look. I think you use less product with the Kat Von D. You're able to pick a little bit more product up. So it takes less layering, where the Anastasia, I feel like you really need to keep applying product in order to get the look of this side. Now I'm interested in going in with this shade Sombre from the Kat Von D palette. It is the dark brown, which is why I purchased that one, and I was leaning a little bit more towards that kit. So I'm going to take my little contouring brush. So I'm just going to keep it on the very outside, and I'm not going to bring it in as far as the other shades that I used. So I'm also going to squeeze my brush so that I can get more of a line instead of this big sort of bulby shape. I want it to be more of like a, you know, a straight line. That is a harsh contour. I think I'm going to go in and kind of blend that out a bit. But this is definitely not for the light makeup wearer. And then if you want that to pop a little bit more, you can go in with a highlight shade underneath just to kind of sharpen that up. So from that same palette, I'm going to go in with this peachy shade, which is Lucid, which is this one right here. And I'm just going to apply that right underneath. As you can see, it kind of just sharpened that up. And it kind of just cuts things a little bit more and makes it look a little bit more chiseled. Then from the Anastasia palette, I'm going to go in with this sort of shimmery shade here, which they call a highlighter, but I did hear that it had some sheen in it. So I want to apply that on the tops of my cheekbones to see. And it definitely seems like it has some sheen to it versus this side. So if that's something that you're looking for and you don't already have a highlighter in your kit, you may want to go with the Anastasia one. For this side, I'm going to go a little bit more matte, so I'm going to use Levitation. And I'm going to apply that right up here and just highlight that portion of my face. And I'm also going to do down the center of my nose, right up here. And my chin. And see how that just highlighted my face? I really, really love that. And I'm using the same shade Levitation from the Kat Von D palette. You see that to do those parts of my face, I leaned towards that palette, so I think I'm actually liking the Kat Von D better. I love how you can use that shade just to highlight the center of your face. To contour my nose, I am going to go in with Subconscious from the Kat Von D, which is this cool shade right here. And I'm going to use a fluffy shadow brush. I like to use shadow brushes with a longer handle for this because you're able to hold it a little bit further back and get more kind of movement from it, and it gives less of a heavy handness to the look versus a shorter handle, which you're really going to get close and you're going to get a sharp line. So I'm going to use this for my nose. And I'm going to bring it down. Do the tip. And I'm going to do the other side. And I really like that shade from this palette. Like I said, I usually use a bronzer to do all of this. And it worked well. I did feel like it was a little bit on the red side, like a bricky kind of shade, and I wanted to play around with cool toned. So I think this kit is really, really nice for that. And I kind of just straightened things out a bit. Then I'm going to go in and just kind of highlight down the center of my nose. And I'm going to use the more neutral shade in this palette. And I'm just going to highlight down the center. Then I'm going to go ahead and add some blush and kind of add a little bit more color to my face since we've already got the contouring down. And I'm going to go in with the Milani powder blush in Tea Rose, which is just this really pretty rosy shade. Then I'm going to go in with this blush brush and apply that to the apples of my cheeks and bringing it up a little bit. Just apply that on there, and yeah, got some color in our face. I'm going to add a little bit of highlighter. I'm just going to use my Stila All Over Shimmer Duo in the shade Kitten with this cool shade right here. And pop this on up top. And add a little bit right there. I still, even though I highlighted down the center of my nose, I still like to add a highlighter that has a little bit of sheen. So, just gonna apply that right here and apply it to my tip. A little bit in the Cupid's bow, a tad bit on the chin, a little up there, add some glowiness to the skin. And yeah, I think we are done. I guess we are done now that we have the blush and highlighter on. And so now I have to come to a conclusion. I think in the contour showdown of the Anastasia Beverly Hills versus the Kat Von D, that the winner is going to be the ding 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 Kat Von D. What I notice immediately is that the banana shade in this contour palette is definitely a lot more yellow than the Kat Von D one. And for me, I tend to like more of a yellow on the neutral side, not such a yellow shade underneath my eye. So that right there I don't love right off the bat. And I don't like that the darkest shade in this palette really isn't all that dark compared to the Kat Von D. As you can see here, this is the darkest shade in the Kat Von D, and this is the darkest in the Anastasia. And in addition to that, the darkest in the Kat Von D is also more cool, and the darkest one in this one is a lot more warm. Seems like the Anastasia palette definitely has more warmer shades than the Kat Von D. And it just depends really what you're looking for. I like more cool toned, so I think I'm preferring the Kat Von D. Seems like each one has its own pros and cons. The Kat Von D comes with a mirror. The Anastasia one doesn't. This one's more warm. That one's more cool. It's really hard to choose. I know that the Anastasia contour kit, you are able to change it up if you order online. This is the standard shade for medium, light to medium tones, I think. If you order online, you're able to customize your palette. You would just purchase this palette, and then you can purchase each one individually and make your own palette. So if you don't like this one per se, you can make your own, which is great. The other thing is you are able to remove each shade. It has this little groove right here. You can pop them out and replace them. Which I really like, because the Kat Von D, if you end up hitting pan on one of the shades, you're kind of out of luck. I assume you would have to go and repurchase the entire kit again for that one shadow. So I think Kat Von D is great for if you're just doing your own makeup and you're not contouring every day. You're not going through the colors as quickly. And if you're just doing makeup on yourself. I think if you are a makeup artist and you're going to be adding a contour kit to your kit, the Kat Von D might be a little impractical. I think that they're both great palettes. It's just what you need it for, if you need to replace the colors or not, if you want something that's a little bit heavier, or if you want something that gives you more of a natural contour, and it's just really preference. I hope that you found this video helpful and it gave you a little bit more insight into choosing the contour palette that works for you, and I'll see you next time.